Hey guys, welcome to today's video where I will be talking all about natural deodorant. Now, natural deodorant has kind of been rising in popularity lately, and I was definitely curious, and I figured a lot of people would be as well. So I picked up a couple of tubes, tried them out, did some research online and in a trial run. I also did a little bit of research on aluminum, all that jazz. So if you're curious about natural deodorant, go ahead and stick around because we're gonna dive right in. Let's get started. Okay, now first of all, again, whenever I make a video like this, I will have all of my sources linked down below in the description box, letting you know where I got the information from. I did do a little bit of research. I know the big ingredient that people are concerned about when it comes to deodorant is aluminum or aluminium if you are across the pond. And so I did a deep dive, and trust me when I say, when I look at information, I always try to go toward reputable sources. I'm not getting it from some blogger, you know, somebody who doesn't have the research to back up what they're saying. There is a difference between antiperspirant and deodorant. Deodorant just keeps you from stinking. Antiperspirant keeps you from stinking, but it also hopefully keeps you from sweating. And the main way they do that is with the ingredient of aluminum. So while we mostly call antiperspirants deodorant, there is a difference there, and I just want to make that clear in the video that there is a difference. So I went ahead and did a little bit of research as to what, if any, harm aluminum in your antiperspirant might do, just not only to educate myself, but in case you guys are curious or wondering. I know that as soon as something kind of hits the internet that could be a potential danger, our ears kind of perk up and we're like, oh my gosh, do I need to be worried about this now? Let's look into it. Always, don't just take somebody's word for it. Always do your research. So I looked at two sources, one being Penn Medicine, which is an academic medical center, meaning that not only do they provide patient care, but they also provide research right alongside that patient care. So this is basically a teaching and learning hospital, as well as the American Cancer Society. These are two places where you can be sure that research is sound, they follow the scientific method, they do testing with control groups, which is very important, and they really do their best to make sure that what they're giving you is accurate as of now. So what do they say? There have been no definitive links between aluminum and an increase in breast cancer risk, and there has been no link between aluminum or lack of sweating with the inability for the body to detoxify itself. Detoxification isn't really performed through sweating. Sweating, basically, the function of sweating serves almost exclusively to cool the body. Detoxification for human beings is pretty much 100% through the liver and the kidneys. Now, with that being said, there are people who can have allergic reactions to aluminum if they have sensitive skin. Obviously, they want to avoid it. And then people who have kidney disease, people whose kidneys are not functioning the way a normal healthy adults would, should stick clear of aluminum containing products because their kidneys are not able to filter it out. A regular, healthy, normal adolescent to adult, people who use deodorant, if your kidneys are functioning at 100%, you guys are good. It's not really a worry. Your kidneys have absolutely no problem filtering them out, according to these studies. Okay, now I also did some research on Alzheimer's disease and aluminum. And while there does appear to be a correlation between Alzheimer's disease and metals that are naturally occurring in the brain, there has been no evidence showing that coming into contact with metals outside of the brain is linked to Alzheimer's. Basically, it's stuff that's already in there that has a relationship with the way the disease develops. They don't know if it actually causes the disease. And I don't want to get too technical. I don't want to overstep. I want to stay in my lane, basically. But this is Again, I will have the article linked down below for you to read so that you can judge for yourself what the article is saying. I'm not an expert by any means. It's definitely worth a look and it's definitely worth researching. However, I could say that all day long. I can tell you there are 50 million scientific studies that say, hey, this really isn't a worry. And there will be people who will worry. And there are also people, again, who have sensitive skin, who have kidney issues, or people who just like using natural products. So with that being said, we're going to talk about 2 of them to see whether or not they actually work, what they do, how they feel, how they function. So let's go ahead and talk about those. Now, the first deodorant that I picked up was from Schmidt's. It is their Sage, sorry about the shine. It's the Sage and Vetiver scent. And then the second one I picked up was from Native, and that's the coconut vanilla scent. I went ahead and picked up the travel size of the Native because natural deodorants are pricey. If you pick up like a tube of Secret or Sure, it's like $2. This was $8. This was about $2.50 at Target. Both of these I got at Target, by the way. So they are pricey. I had planned on buying a whole bunch of natural deodorant to try out, but I just could not justify the expense. It's a lot of money to spend on something that I wasn't sure would work and that I'd be kind of stuck with. So I just went ahead and picked up these 2. These are probably the most readily available natural deodorants. Now, both of these are scented. The Schmidt's is easily the more strongly scented. The Native is much more subtle. This is the coconut and vanilla scent. It's very soft. It smells pretty, but it's very, very subtle. And then the Schmidt's, much more strongly scented, and in fact it has like this particular deodorant has like a peppery scent. It smells almost exactly like Earl Grey tea. So, you know, if you don't mind smelling like Captain Picard from Star Trek, this might be for you, because it does smell good. I like Earl Grey tea and I like the scent, but I have a feeling that this would probably be more like of a masculine sensibility than a feminine one. But as you can tell, the deodorant is a little bit more beige than regular deodorant. It's not white. It is much softer than regular deodorant as well. So when you put it on, it's a lot softer. The instructions, in fact, say to kind of hold it to your body and let your body heat kind of warm the stick up a little bit and then wipe. Both of these feel insanely comfortable to wear. It's very strange. But when I used a Secret deodorant. In fact, let me grab it because it was basically like my control to see how they compare to regular antiperspirant. See, I'm a liar. It wasn't Secret. It was actually Suave. I used the Wild Cherry Blossom Invisible Solid 24-hour antiperspirant / deodorant. And I pretty much wear this. This is like my typical deodorant that I use. Again, with that being said, when I tried each of these compared to my regular antiperspirant, these actually felt nice. Like as soon as I put it on and I was walking around a little bit, it was just like, I don't know, it was an oddly comfortable sensation that I was unused to. I don't know how else to describe it. So it's a very strange thing to think about, like something under your arms being comfortable, but that's what it was. It was actually quite pleasant. So I was happy with that on both of these. I sweat very easily. I mean, I'm not like Whitney Houston status, but I sweat. I sweat very easily, sweat a lot, sweat pretty much every day. There are some women to where you never see them sweat at all. I am not one of those blessed creatures. So this is kind of a concern for me. So I know that I'm probably not the only one who's like that. It's just something that we tend not to talk about because it's gross and it's kind of TMI. But this is, this is a channel for moms, all about lifestyle, all about things that make moms' lives easier. And so trying stuff like this out, I think, is really important, and giving you guys good information, accurate information, whether it's kind of uncomfortable or not, I think is important. So I went ahead and tried each of these along with my regular antiperspirant. I had the antiperspirant on my left armpit and the natural deodorant on my right. I did the same amount of physical activity at the same time of day to make sure that the conditions were as similar as possible to compare basically all three of these deodorants. And again, just to reiterate, I'm gonna call these all deodorants, even though one is actually an antiperspirant. The two naturals obviously are just deodorant. Okay, so the first one I tried was the Sage and Vetiver from Schmidt's. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop in the footage to see what my findings were. Okay, so I just finished doing some yard work. Trying to see the results. If you are sensitive to bodily fluids, it's not a severe sense, but if you are sensitive to stuff like this, in other words, if you're not a mom, maybe you ought to look away. Let's see. Okay, so some sweat. This is the antiperspirant side, and more sweat on this side. Admittedly, though, I will say I was expecting more sweat on this side than is actually there. And I don't stink. So, so as a deodorant, which that's what this is, this actually works pretty good because honestly, I smell the natural deodorant more than I do the fragrance from the antiperspirant. And I don't like having an underlying body odor thing going on. So definitely a mixed bag here, but it didn't do great, but it did better than I thought it would. So yeah. Okay, as you can tell from my face, it is much later in the day, and I've kept the same shirt on just to kind of show you, like, keep the results consistent. But here is my arm with the antiperspirant side, and here is my arm with the just plain natural deodorant. I'm not really sweating on either side. Yeah, I'm not really sweating right now, and again, I can still smell my deodorant. So as of right now, when I'm kind of idle, I'm reading a book. They are pretty parallel in terms of effectiveness. So yeah, I can't wait. Tomorrow I'm gonna try the native one, so we'll see how that one goes. Okay, and now that you've seen the Schmidt's, we're gonna go ahead and see how it was stacking up the native against the regular old antiperspirant and see how this one did. Okay, so I just got through with my yard work, the exact same amount, and you can't really see in this shirt. I guess I should have worn a different fabric that would have shown. But it's almost identical. I'm slightly damp on the right side, but I mean, it's almost nothing. If I would have assumed this was an antiperspirant had I not known so far. So we'll see how it works the rest of the day. But as of right now, it's working really, really well. So I'm kind of happy about it. Okay, so I just wanted to really quickly check in. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon, about 96 degrees. I do not have my air conditioning on, and this deodorant is working pretty great. It's not quite as effective as a regular antiperspirant, but I'm not sweating in any way significantly at all. And yeah, I'm completely and totally pleased so far. It's not like I'm jogging or anything, but at the same time, it's almost October, it's almost 100 degrees, and I'm doing pretty good. So yeah, I'm kind of really, really liking this deodorant so far. The scent is nowhere near as strong as the other deodorant that I tried yesterday. So I'll kind of compare what each of my, not to be gross, but what each of my shirts smells like afterward to see which one has like the best deodorizing and like masking, not to be it sounds so gross, but which one prevents odor. So it's pretty cool so far. I'm liking it, and yeah, really happy with the results. And of course, now we're going to see how they stack up against each other. Okay, so it is the third day of my trial run for natural deodorant, and I'm wearing the native on this side and the Schmidt's on this side. So far the native is working better, but both are working very well. But yeah, so far we're doing really good. We're basically sweat free. Okay, it is 10:30, and so far Even though I'm sitting in a hot room, the classroom does get warm. We're doing pretty good so far. It's kind of better than I thought it would be. I thought it would be like Swamp Thing, but not so far. So we're doing pretty good. Okay guys, now my final thoughts on everything. I'm going to talk a little bit about each, the pros and the cons, and let you know basically whether or not this is worth a try for you. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Schmidt's. This one, in terms of effectiveness for sweating, was so-so. I didn't sweat significantly more than with the Schmidt's. I did sweat more, but not like an insane amount. Like I said, I have not met a deodorant that I can't sweat through, or an antiperspirant, I should say, that I can't sweat through. I've tried Dove, I've tried Suave, I've tried Sure, I've tried Arm & Hammer, I've tried Secret, the whole gamut. I've tried, you know, the regular deodorant that comes in packages like this. I've tried the spray. I don't know. It's just, I sweat. So while this one wasn't bad, you're still going to sweat, obviously. Just kind of be prepared for that. I will say this, though. I got the scent of this throughout the day. I got no body odor whatsoever. If I smelled anything, I did not smell this one at all. I only smelled this one, and it was really, really pleasant. It was a very nice scent, and again, it totally eliminated any type of body odor whatsoever. So that's where this one really, really shines. And there are a lot of different scents that this comes in, and there's even like sensitive skin formulas. In fact, I think this one is a sensitive skin formula. So if you have sensitive skin, definitely try this one out, because this was really, really nice. Keeping you dry, however, if you're somebody like me who sweats a lot, maybe stick to this one during winter. You will probably be fine. But in summertime, really, really hot days, or if you have like something important, like a meeting or a date or something, then maybe you want to stick to the antiperspirants. Now on to the Native. So weird, it's so tiny. Again, this one is really, really soft. It has that kind of same beige hue. The scent is really, really, really subtle. However, even though the scent itself is really subtle, and I did not smell this deodorant at all, it also did a great job of eliminating any type of body odor. I did not experience that whatsoever. And I did a sniff test too, just to be sure. Not to be like TMI, but that's what this is about. So I definitely did sniff tests, and both of them worked great. So this worked really great. This one also, whether intentionally or not, I didn't sweat as much. This actually worked for me just as effectively as the antiperspirant. So this worked really well, which is nice because this one is actually much more expensive than this one. Again, this was $8 for me at Target. For the full size of this, I want to say it was about 12 or 13. I'll double check and I'll put the prices down here just to be sure. But this one is significantly more expensive. And if I'm paying more money, it better work better, and it does. So I really, really like this one. If you are eager to try natural deodorants, I highly recommend trying the Native. If you sweat a lot, because this actually worked really, really well. If you are looking for something that's like more bargain price, even though natural deodorants, they really are just pricey, definitely give this one a shot. This one I could see working fantastically in winter time, but maybe skip this one if you are, again, in the middle of high summer and all of that. And just as a side note, if you're thinking, oh, it's October, it's not that cold, or it's not that hot. I live in Southern California. We have consistently been in the mid 90s throughout. I was outside, middle of the day. I wore this all day, and I kind of kept tabs, as you saw, throughout the day and did check-ins. So it's not like I'm sitting in comfortable 70-degree weather, 60-degree weather, where I'm going to be cooler. I'm in basically what most people experience during summertime. That's fall here where I live. So just to kind of reassure you that I'm not walking around like an air conditioning la-di-da, it's so cool I'm not sweating anyway. That is not the case. And again, I was doing yard work when I tested these out, just to give you an indication of how much exertion and body heat I was working up. But anyhow, I was, again, pleasantly surprised by both of these. These both worked really, really great as deodorants. I had absolutely no body odor whatsoever. But again, Overall, 100%. The winner was definitely the Native. That worked incredibly well, kept me pretty comfortable, and really held its own in comparison to the antiperspirant from Swab. So definitely give these a try if you are eager to. Don't be afraid. If you are nervous, again, why not pick up the little travel size? It's under $3. Try it out on a day when you're not really concerned necessarily about sweating. Like, don't wear this when you have a big presentation to give to your class, or you have date night with the hubby if you want to try it out for the first time. But definitely give it a try, especially if you're interested in switching to more natural products, which I feel that most people kind of are, especially women. We're kind of looking at the ingredients that we bring into our home, and we put a lot of stuff on our body and it gets absorbed into our skin. So we're kind of turning toward more natural products, which can't hurt. So again, definitely give this one a try if you are looking towards switching to natural deodorant. But if you do use antiperspirant, which in the summertime, I will continue to use antiperspirants in summertime, or if I have something important to go to, because I do sweat a lot. But having done the research, I feel a little bit more comfortable using it. I know that not everybody will agree with that, and everybody will have their own concerns and worries. And that is definitely something that you have to decide for yourself. Do the research on your own and make sure, please, 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 make sure, because so much information on the internet isn't necessarily accurate. Make sure that you are looking at places who have actually done the work and done the work responsibly when you make your choices. And again, I'm not saying, oh, you're an idiot for thinking this, that, or the other thing. But again, I feel more comfortable having researched this when I use antiperspirant. But I'm actually honestly probably going to be switching to the more natural stuff during the cooler months of fall. We start getting cool late October, early November, probably in through winter, and then switching again when the weather turns hot. So yeah, these were two pretty good products for me. Again, the Native was the slam dunk. Anyhow, guys, that about wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you all in the next video, totally smelling like green tea. Thanks so much for watching, and take care. Bye.